afternoon, everybody. This marks the beginning of our registration renewal period. Thus far, we have received $263,300, and I must say that the registrations are coming in fast and furious, which makes us very happy. As you may know, or not, today is my last board meeting. I'll be retiring as of the end of this month. So today I look back at my first executive director report in 2007. In that report, I said that I hoped that the law board staff would continue to work together as a team. And then we restructured the board staff, removing the divisions of labor and made everyone aware of and responsive to all the needs of the agency, creating an environment where we all work collaboratively, and as a tremendous, terrific team. It was also my hope that together with the staff, we would broaden our relationship with other city agencies involved in legalization. And then in 2009, we merged with the Department of Buildings, the agency most involved with the legalization of our buildings, and also added a board onto the board, the member of the fire department. But I came in 2010, and while for many of us, the move was not easy. We learned a lot, and I can say unequivocally that being at the DOB has helped me and our staff be better able to move our buildings through the legalization process. I also wanted to find innovative ways to reach out and work with the law community to bring the number of buildings out of compliance down as far as we could to warrant closing the law board. As a matter of fact, there was an interview that I had with, I think it's the Cooperator or something, where I was quoted as saying that our goal was to close the law board. Little did I suspect what was ahead of us. While my goal was to remove enough buildings to warrant shutting the doors, just as we reached 300 buildings in our jurisdiction, the New York State Legislature amended the law and created a new window period, and up we went. So from 330, we are at 334 buildings today. 105 of those buildings are new buildings that were added under the 2010 amendments. We have 229 buildings still remaining from the original group of buildings. There have been other changes as well. In 2007, I said in my report that I was hoping that the legislature would raise our per violation fine from $1,000 to $2,000. That didn't happen. Instead, they raised it to $17,500. We also raised our per unit registration fee to $500 from $200 a unit. Because we were having a problem getting owners to renew registration, we began the yearly call-a-thon to get owners to register timely. This has resulted in a near 100% renewal rate. When I started here, we also were having a great deal of difficulty getting our buildings to move their process of legalization. And we brought a number of enforcement actions, but they really didn't have much effect because we only had a $1,000 fine for the buildings. So that was sort of a weak enforcement action. Accordingly, we created a new rule, the board, that created a letter of no objection requirement for any construction in a loft board building that was not connected to the IMD work. And that has been, I would say, our most effective enforcement tool. Let's see, what else did we do? In 2008, I took over the job of conducting the narrative statement process. It enabled me to work closely with owners and tenants and understand everybody's particular needs with regard to legalization. I even made site visits when necessary. I think that that was the most challenging part of my job, and probably the most time-consuming time and really gratifying period. We were able to work with most of the buildings, the tenants and the owners, to reach consensus without having to go through the expensive and time-consuming alternate plan process. In these 9 years, we've seen the law change, created new rules, amended old ones. And I wanted to tell all of the board members how much I've appreciated your support, your ideas, and your hard work. I want to thank Alex Fisher for being a great supervisor. She has had some great ideas and helped us in a number of issues, and she has made my job so much easier and so much nicer. Thank you. I want to thank all of my staff. They are hard workers and they are terrific people, and I will miss them all very much. I forgot to bring the tissues. We've had a lot of fun together. But most of all, and here's where I cry, I want to thank my deputy and my friend Margaret Cruz. When I came here from the City Commission on Human Rights, I didn't know anything about the law firm. I didn't know anything about real estate law. And she taught me everything. She was patient, she was kind, and she was smart. She was an amazing guide through what is the most difficult and weird law and set of rules in the city. We've had some amazing times together, and I will miss her most of all. It's going to be really hard for me to leave such a wonderful place, but leave I must because it's time. So again, I thank you all for your hard work, and I will miss you all. Thank you.
I said we're ready to. I wanted to propose to give her a round. Job well done. We'll miss you.
Excuse me. Would it be appropriate for the board to adopt a resolution commending Lanny on her years of service in the eyes of the chair?
Absolutely.
I would like to move that we craft such a resolution. I yield to our parliamentarian.
Yes.
We can call.
Okay. Resolution commending her on her years of service by the board. All members. Mr. Howard?
Yes.
No, Mr. Byron.
Yes.
Mr. Gregory. Chairperson Bishop.
Yes.
Mr. Delaney.
Yes.
Michelle. Yes. Citizen Bay. 3 absent.
Thank you.
Something on.
Okay.
Thanks, Mr. Delaney.
Okay.
So, we turn next to the summary calendar. There are 9 summary cases. These cases are voted on as a group. They are ECQ Realty Corp., 37 Grand Avenue, Brooklyn, LS 0232. John P. Romano, 265, 271 Douglas Street, Brooklyn, TH 0189. Josh Fox, Deborah Wallace, and Robert Silverman, 37 Grand Avenue, Brooklyn, TH 0205. Christine Ambrosino, 43-49 Bleecker Street, TR 1070. Mitchell Zukor, 43-49 Bleecker Street, TR 1074. Grace Yu, 43-49 Bleecker Street, TR 1119. Alan Buckman, 43-49 Bleecker Street, TR 1142. Tenants of 139 South 8th Street, 139 South 8th Street, Brooklyn, TR 1165. Danielle Abram and Erith Abram, 433 Park Avenue South, TR 1243. comments or questions on these cases? There, on the Baker Street one, how come some are dismissed with prejudice and some without?
When an applicant in their withdrawal says that they agree to withdraw the application with prejudice, we include that. When it's silently issued, we say without prejudice.
Anyone else? Is there a motion to accept these cases? Mr. Delaney, thank you. Mr. Gregory, my second.
Mr. Carver,
Yes.
Mr. Barrett,
Yes.
Mr. Gregory,
Yes.
Chairperson Fisher,
Yes.
Mr. Delaney,
Yes.
Ms. Shelby,
Yes.
6 favor, 2 absent.
We now come to the master calendar cases. We have one coverage case and 2 removal cases. The coverage case is Nicola Lopez et al., 979-987 King Street, Berlin, TR 1148.
On December 10th of 2013, several tenants in 979-987 Main Street and 1070-1078 Pacific Street filed a joint application seeking coverage pursuant to MDL 2815 and protected occupant status. Because the units are now within the same building, tenants must prove that each unit satisfies the eligibility criteria and that the buildings are a horizontal multiple dwelling. In the report, Judge Bruno recommended that the board grant a coverage application for 3 units, which are the spaces occupied by Ms. Lopez, Mr. Clark, and Mr. Weeks, and that the board find that the buildings are a horizontal multiple dwelling. Regarding the rooftop space at 1070-1078 Pacific Street, Judge Bruno recommended that the board do an inspection to determine whether the building is part of the horizontal multiple dwelling. Judge Bruno recommended that if the Pacific Street building is found to be part of the horizontal multiple dwelling, that the rooftop area should also be part of the Lopez unit. The staff recommends that the board accept Judge Bruno's recommendation to grant coverage to 969-975 and 979-987 Union Street as a horizontal multiple dwelling, but reject the recommendation to send an inspector as unnecessary. This record contains sufficient information. The record contains information about 3 out of the 6 factors listed in section 208, which are the factors used in determining whether the buildings are a horizontal multiple dwelling. First is common ownership. The same entity owns the building. One deed has been used to transfer title of the buildings at least twice. Second, the record contains evidence that there are common building systems. The buildings share a common automatic wet pipe sprinkler system, and the gas service enters the premises at 979-987 Dean Street. Third, the record contains testimony that Ms. Lopez used the ground floor at 979 Dean Street and the rooftop space on the Pacific Street building as one unit prior to, during, and after the window period. Since 2001, the rooftop space has a kitchen and bathroom. The family slept, cooked, and worked in both spaces with the owner's consent. Based on this evidence, the staff recommends that the board find that the Pacific Street building is part of the horizontal multiple dwelling. Regarding the eligibility criteria of the individual units, the staff recommends that the board accept Judge Bruno's finding that the testimonial and documentary evidence in the record prove that there were at least 3 residential units during the window period: the Lopez unit, the Clark unit, and the Weeks unit. The testimony also proved that the units met the other eligibility criteria for coverage. If the board accepts the recommendation that 1070-1078 Pacific Street is part of the horizontal multiple dwelling and that the individual units meet the eligibility criteria, the staff recommends that the board accept Judge Bruno's recommendation that the rooftop space is part of the Lopez unit. The owner leased the rooftop space to Mr. Weeks in 2001. Ms. Lopez and Mr. Weeks used the rooftop space and the ground floor for cooking, sleeping, and working on their art. Judge Bruno found that Ms. Lopez testified credibly about how she used the space during the window period. The staff recommends that the board grant protected occupant status to Ms. Lopez, Mr. Clark, and Mr. Weeks, but deny Mr. Richmond's claim. Regarding Ms. Lopez and Mr. Weeks, the staff recommends that the board find the protected occupants pursuant to 2094. The Lopez Ms. Lopez and Mr. Weeks are the prime lessees of their respective units, and based on the evidence in the record, it is their primary residence. The documentary evidence includes tax returns, driver's license, vehicle registration, and phone bills. The staff recommends that the board find that Mr. Clark is also a protected occupant. Mr. Clark began to residentially occupy his unit in December of 1999. As Mr. Clark was in possession prior to the effective date of the law, remains in possession, and there's no prime lessee seeking coverage, Mr. Clark is the protected occupant pursuant to 209B1 and 2. With regard to Mr. Richmond, Judge Spooner considered his claim for protected occupant status under B1, B2, and B3, and ultimately recommended that the law court grant his claim, except that he did so without identifying which section of 209B was relevant. Section 209B3 only applies to tenants who took possession after the effective date of the law. Mr. Richmond began to occupy the unit prior to the effective date of the law. Therefore, Section B3 does not apply. Nor may Mr. Richmond qualify for protected occupant status under B1 and B2 because Mr. Weeks is the prime lessee of the unit and he's a protected occupant under B4. Mr. Weeks is seeking protected occupant status and as the prime lessee who's using the unit as his primary residence, he is a protected occupant. Judge Spooner cited the law court decision in matter of Van der Beek and Lehman in support of Mr. Richmond's protected occupant claim. However, the law court's holding in Van der Beek is not supported by the law court rule 2-09. In Van der Beek, the law court found that the prime tenant and his life partner were protected occupants based on the court decision in Braschi, which held that a surviving life partner of a tenant in a rent-regulated apartment was entitled to succession based on the death of the prime tenant. Succession cases are about who has the right to possession when the prime tenant is no longer in the unit. This is not the case here. The prime lessee is both in possession and seeks protected occupant status in this case. Finally, the staff recommends that the board grant coverage for the 3 units, the Lopez unit, including the rooftop space, the Clark unit, and the Weeks unit. Regarding the protected occupant claims, staff recommends that the law court find Ms. Lopez, Mr. Clark, and Mr. Weeks to be protected occupants and deny Mr. Richmond's claim for protected occupant status.
Thank you. Comments or questions on this case?
With regard to the protected occupancy status question, where we're finding that Mr. Richmond is not a protected occupant, the evidence that was submitted, there were periods when he paid either part of the rent or all of the rent directly to the landlord. Is that where you apply B2?
That's where you apply B3. B3 requires consent after the effective date.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Any other comments or questions? Is there a motion to accept this case? Sheldon, thank you for the second. Mr. Barowitz, thank you.
Mr. Cover,
Yes.
Mr. Albert,
Yes.
Mr. Gregory,
Yes.
Chairperson Fisher,
Yes.
Mr. Delaney,
No.
Ms. Sheldon.
Yes.
5 in favor, 1 against, 2 absent.
Just a point of question. We have one absentee. Is that absentee counted towards our quorum or not? The absentee.
Yes.
The bill.
And we're trying to fill it. Yes, we asked, we investigated, we looked into it, we also ran it by Corporation Council. It's confirmed that it's the 9.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah.
Finally, we have 2 removal cases that are voted on as a group. They are Meltland USA LLC, 52-62 South 11th Street, Oakland, LE 0636, and 46 Lake Street Condominium, 46 Lake Street, LE 0664. Comments or questions on these cases? Is there a motion to accept these cases? Sheldon, thank you. Mr. Gregory, thank you.
Mr. Cover,
Yes.
Mr. Bauer,
Yes.
Mr. Gregory,
Yes.
Chairperson Fisher.
Yes.
Mrs. Delaney,
Yes.
Ms. Sheldon.
Yes.
6 in favor, 2 absent.
That was speedy. This will conclude our June 16th, 2016 Law Board public meeting. Our next public meeting will be here at 280 Broadway, 3rd floor, on September 15th, 2016 at 2 p.m.
There's no.
No July
No
meeting.
July
No
meeting
July meeting.
and no August meeting. You have the summer off
Okay.
for the board here. I reorganize it.
Thank you all so much.